apparently they come here unbeaten. They're the league leaders up north. They're talking in terms of their first title since 1967. In Ryan Giggs, just 17, they've unearthed a real gem. He's been compared to Georgie Best, and you can't have higher praise than that. At Leighton Orient, Chris Bart-Williams is the young man whose name's on everybody's lips. The big clubs are watching him very closely. We have a special feature on Chris and Leighton.
Really, queues were forming here soon after 10 o'clock this morning, and they were ringing White Hart Lane by noon. Great expectations as Spurs get the game underway. A game really that's a wonderful yardstick for both these teams as they assess their championship potential in these early weeks of the season. The first touch for the teenage Spurs goalkeeper Ian Walker. Manchester United certainly off to a flyer. 11 games played in the league, and the Cup Winners' Cup and the Rumbelows Cup. 11 played, 8 wins, 3 draws, still no defeats as Giggs takes up the running. But Mabbott's there, a bit of a stumble, and in fact the linesman had felt there was a little nudge by Giggs on Mabbott, and it'll be a free kick to Tottenham. Spurs captain. To Stewart. That's deep-lying midfield position of his, just sits in there in front of the main defenders, but he's lost the ball there and holds up Hughes illegally, and it'll be a free kick. Robson will take the free kick for United. Floated there towards Giggs, and a glorious chance there for Mark Hughes. Well, Spurs were looking for a flag, looking for an offside, but the flag wasn't there, and Hughes has had such prolific goal-scoring seasons of late. This what was really a golden opportunity. Robson's free kick. Giggs, I don't think, quite got a touch on it, and Hughes got the wrong one. Goes Pallister. Stewart now for Tottenham. Is Kanchelskis, a real flyer, and Stewart trying to get across there to hold him up, and a free kick given to Tottenham, but an early sample there of what this Russian can do. Kanchelskis deep on the right side of midfield, but as you can see, making those breaks down the flank. Here's Walker with the clearance. Dury jumped ahead of Bruce, but it was Bruce's header away. Robson quickly trying to get Kanchelskis away again, but Stewart watching him closely. And Spurs were certainly well aware, there's Stewart, they were certainly well aware of the danger of Kanchelskis. Peter Shreves, the manager, was talking to me about him before the game, and knew full well that he's a man who really has to be watched so closely. Phelan with a header. Kanchelskis watched that time by Sedgley. Bruce getting it away, up again to Kanchelskis. A nice header by him this time, picking up Hughes. And he couldn't keep that in. Had a busy time, Kanchelskis. He played in Moscow on Wednesday against Hungary and scored in the 2-2 draw. Sedgley, forward to Jury. Sedgley again, this time picking up Paul Allen. Sedgley down injured, but it comes through to Jury. There's his shot, wide of Schmeichel's goal. Gordon Jury with 3 goals this season, but he hasn't scored in the last 7. But a good raking shot there, but just wide of the United goal. And here's this big 6'4" Danish international goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel, with the goal kick. Samways to Paul Allen. Ince is after him, but he couldn't hold up Allen. Giggs getting it through to Ince, tried to find Hughes. Not back that time by Bergson. Commanding that centre stage again. Ryan Robson, 34 years old. But many still believing that Robson should be a part of the England setup. He is again. Well, beat 2 there, Sedgley and Jury, as though they didn't exist, and a lovely ball for Giggs. Kanchelskis offside. Free kick to Tottenham. Super bit of play by Robson though just before it. Free kick to Tottenham. Will be taken by Steve Sedgley. Still raining heavily here. Gives a real inviting gloss to this surface. It's a good surface at White Hart Lane, made for a passing game. Stewart, a long ball forward towards Lineker, who's not really had a touch yet. Will Allen pick up this loose one? Tried to knock it back for Jury. Bergson, same ways. This is McClare. Trying to get Hughes away again. Mabbott winning that one in the air. Jury versus Bruce. Supported by Robson. Here's Naeem. Lovely turn by him, and towards Jury again. And a foul given apparently against Jury for elbowing on Dennis Irwin. Irwin, who played most of last season at right back. He's at left back this afternoon with Mike Phelan, as he has been in recent weeks, playing at right back. Dennis Irwin. Tuttle with a header. Robson quickly closing in. McClare on this left-hand side of midfield. United throw. Irwin with it. Giggs getting it back to Irwin. McClare chipping it forward again. Irwin keeping it in play. Here's Giggs. Hughes waiting in the middle. Kanchelskis is in there too. Good handling by young Walker. And a good throw for Naeem. But not such good work by Naeem. Fell straight for Pallister. Ince. Robson. Spreading it this time for Owen. Hughes tried a dummy which Tuttle refused to buy. McClare. United won here 2-1 last season, a live game I remember on ITV. It was Brian McClare who scored a last-minute winner on that occasion. After Lineker and Bruce had scored from the penalty spot. Naim playing it forward, yes, Lineker just fractionally offside. Such a super feel about these games between Spurs and Manchester United. You felt it really when you were within a couple of miles of the stadium this morning. The cars heading this way with their streamers, and certainly when you saw the crowds lining up so early. Robson chipping it forward. Naim, Kanchelskis after it, and Naim was aware of it, and the pass falling straight to Mike Phelan. Kanchelskis again. Alistair to Owen. Hughes shielding that ball well from Tuttle's challenge, gets it back, and this time puts it straight to Samways though. Came off Robson. Bergson with the throw, not quite sure where to play it. In the end found Stewart, but his header falling straight to McClare, fouled by Allen, a free kick to Manchester United. So with 10 minutes gone, no score. Dennis Irwin with the free kick for Manchester United. Hughes and Giggs are up ahead of him. Kanchelskis moving in on the right-hand side. It's aimed towards Hughes. Naim getting it away, only as far as Robson. Little chip again by him, too powerful. Phelan versus Naim. And a foul by a Tottenham player, this time Naim. He thought otherwise, but it's a free kick for Manchester United. It'll be taken by Steve Bruce. Amazing goal-scoring season Steve Bruce had last time out. 19 in all. Here's Robson. Fair number of them from the penalty spot, of course. Offside against Lineker. Robson. 25 years since Manchester United last won a championship. They feel they have the squad that would certainly give it a good shout this time again. Robson, what an achievement it would be for him. It's a big ambition of his to win a championship medal with Manchester United, as Ince puts that one well wide. Well, it's just about worth seeing again, but it's well wide. It was a poor shot by Ince. that above, Bruce, but again Lineker had just strayed offside. Gary at the moment out of sorts with the linesman on the far side. Here's Gary Pallister. Hughes. Phelan. Made in for McClare. Nice little touch. Giggs. Oh, he's lost that. Samways picks it up. Tottenham now can counter-attack. Lineker's made a run to the right. Jury's gone through the middle. Here's Lineker. Made it for Allen. Can he whip the cross in? No. Robson there again. And conceding the free kick. Robson complaining that in fact he played the ball. Paul Allen, who's had his share of knocks this season. It's a typical full-blooded Robson challenge. The England captain claims he went for the ball. And in fact, I think you can see the slow motion there. He certainly caught Paul Allen, but he certainly, the first contact was with the ball. But a free kick's been given to Tottenham. Dave Butler sorts Paul Allen out. Well, the Spurs subs are warming up, and David Howes or Scott Houghton, who's his right side midfield, would be perhaps an obvious choice for Allen, but Allen is going to go on. And Samways will take this free kick. Interesting position this. Spurs lining up and are jockeying for position, and it was just too high for David Tuttle. Just clipped Tuttle's head. Dangerous free kick though. Just caught Tuttle's head, as you could see. Went away for the goal kick. Taken by Peter Schmeichel. Bruce with the challenge. Robson. Kanchelskis. Kanchelskis again. Robson taking it up. Oh, Naeem looked as though he went in very high on Robson there. But it's Naeem who's gone down. That was from this distance, it looked that way. Robson caught him as well. And it looks as though Naeem might be getting a yellow card. A yellow card. I certainly got the impression that Naeem, who is a really competitive little player, had gone in a little high on Robson, even though he in the end was the one who needed the treatment. A free kick then for Manchester United. Bruce with it. Hughes' header. Tuttle's clearance. Alistair. Hustled by Dury into a half mistake there. Ince. Very competitive and very evenly balanced. Robson playing it in. Tackles flying in quickly, and certainly referee Ashby has got to have his eyes everywhere at the moment. I wouldn't say it's unpleasant, but it is really competitive out there. Ince spreading it wide for Kanchelskis. Played it there. Tuffle, not quite the clearance he intended, but it falls in the end for Steve Sedgley. Ince knocking it back again. Kanchelskis again. Stopped by Sedgley, supported by Mabbott. Knocked forward towards Lineker. On the far side flagging for something. The referee wave play on. Stewart now. Can Paul Allen get to this? No. Irwin there. Defending well. Stewart. Allen. Now Bergson. A deep cross, maybe too deep. Nothing in that for Dury, who'd in fact taken up an excellent position at the far post. Conceded a goal in the last 5 games, Peter Schmeichel. 5s of 45, 450 minutes at least with a clean sheet. Tuffle with the header. Phelan stinking it forward again. Bergson's header for Tottenham. It's Robson. McClare. Look at the space now for Giggs. How well can he use it? Hughes has made a good little break for him, and he came off a defender and behind for the corner. It came off David Tuttle, I think it would have been. But a little bit of electrifying pace there by Ryan Giggs. And Giggs will take the corner. Robson's header. Lineker. Here's Samways. It's a lovely game, this. Look at United, determined not to give Samways any leeway. There were 3 red shirts within 2 yards of him, but it's still Spurs throw. It's with Paul Allen. Now Samways again. Knocking it in. Dury first to react. Stewart takes it up again. Phelan gets in. Robson gets it away. Here's Giggs. Hughes up ahead of him. Some terrific movement by both sides. And Hughes, the flag stays down. Mark Hughes now for Manchester United. A goal! Spurs are looking hard at the linesman, but he had a good look at it. The flag stayed down, and Hughes, who missed a chance early on, made absolutely sure of this one. His nerve held wide of Walker, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United. That's Lawrence. Stewart plays it forward. And the free kick to Tottenham on the edge of the box. Samways. Well, United were almost napping then, because Schmeichel hadn't begun to line a wall up, and Samways nipped in quickly. That was a good bit of quick thinking, but sadly for Spurs, his free kick didn't quite match his thinking, but it only fell a yard or so wide of what was basically an empty United goal. So while they're still arguing, and while Schmeichel, you see, is warming up, just look at that. Pallister winning it in the air. Dury hammering it wide. Spurs 0, Manchester United 1. Mark Hughes, 21 minutes. Abbott wins it in the air. Robson. Hughes. Robson tangling there just for a moment with Jury. Free kick given Manchester United's way. Bruce knocking it forward. Samways to Stewart. I think it's Jury down after a clash with Steve Bruce, and Spurs players incensed. The game for the moment has stopped. Mabbott's coming to have a word with the referee as well. Jury stays down. And I think maybe if we can have a look at that again to see whether there was a clash between Bruce and Jury. And the Spurs players not only remonstrating with the referee, but also remonstrating with a linesman on the far side, saying you should have seen something as well. And the upshot of it all is that I think Vinnie Samways is going to get a booking. Let's just see whether Samways gets his booking first. Yes, he does. Let's just see whether we pick up anything here. Well, it's hard to see what might happen there. But certainly the Spurs players felt that it was pretty unpleasant and needed to have the referee's attention drawn to it. Samways obviously protested too much, got a yellow card. Manchester United get a free kick and away we go again. United leading by a goal to nil. Abbott gets it back to Walker. Bergson. Alistair. Alistair again. Challenge that time between Hughes and Abbott. Foul by Hughes, free kick to Spurs. Reaching the outer edges of competitiveness at the moment and might just getting a little nasty out there. Phelan, it might well have come off Naeem. The referee and linesman agree that it did. It's a free kick, or rather a throw to Manchester United. To be taken by Mike Phelan. Hughes felled that time by Sedgley. He's off the field. The referee feels that there's a degree of play acting by Mark Hughes. It's given a free kick to Manchester United. The game will go on. I've no doubt that Mark Hughes will very quickly be back on the field. Here he is. Stewart. Giggs buzzing around him as he gets it back to Ian Walker. Keeping Erik Torstvedt, the Norwegian international, out of the side. Jury's header. Can Lineker finish it off? Right, straight at Schmeichel. Tuttle backpedaling, it'll go all the way to Walker. Schmeichel certainly has got a massive kick on him, and people in Manchester are saying that he's brought out one or two saves in opposing goalkeepers this season already. Here's Owen. Samways holding off Robson, but there is sheer weight of numbers there. McClare and Stewart getting involved there. The game goes on, but now it's stopped with Jury offside. Well, there's a man with a tough job this afternoon now. It's getting a little mucky out there. A little unpleasant. Free kick given to Manchester United. Still with it. Abbott's header. Naeem high into the air again. It's still raining very heavily here in North London. Kanchelskis. United throw. Well, the linesman definitely gave the throw to Kanchelskis and Manchester United. The referee overruled him and has given it to Tottenham. Unless, of course, it was a foul throw by Kanchelskis. It might well have been that. Lineker. Stewart. That's a good ball. Bergson can't pick it up, though. There. To Hughes. Here's Owen. Coming up towards a half hour. Manchester United leading by the Mark Hughes goal after 21 minutes. Sedgley caught a little off balance there, supported in the end though by Mabbutt. It's Naeem who's got it away only as far as McClare, but there's a foul on the far side giving Manchester United the free kick. Still leaping for this one, wins it quite comfortably in the air at 6'4", he's probably entitled to. But nobody fights harder than Paul Allen, but he's brought down by Irwin. A free kick to Tottenham, quickly taken there by Bergson, maybe quicker than Spurs wanted, and they hadn't really organised themselves, and Ince now gives Giggs space now for the cross to come in, and Sedgley the saviour there for Tottenham. Corner to Manchester United. And those ranks of United fans there as Dennis Irwin takes his corner. It's been a good season for them so far. Their side still undefeated as Irwin knocks this corner in. Up goes Bruce at the other side. Mabbutt puts it away for another corner. Giggs going across to the applause of the United fans you can see down in that corner. It's a corner straight towards Pallister. Okay. No, the linesman again started running towards the centre as though it's a goal kick. The referee decided that came last off a Tottenham player. It's the third successive corner here now for Manchester United. Dennis Irwin with this one. Pallister at the near post. McClare and Hughes also in the 6-yard area. Giggs making a little run, and deep on the far side is Bruce. Tries to get to it. The flag goes up, the whistle goes as Bruce jumped all over Mabbutt. A free kick to Spurs. Ince and Robson. Now that's quite a task, and it's Ince in the end who wins it. Knocked on again by Kanchelskis, up to Hughes. Robson, what a great ball by Robson for McClare. Kicks through the middle. Owen didn't give him much room there, but he still found McClare with this ball. Mabbutt whack it away, up to Lineker. Try to chest it down for Allen. It's a throw to Spurs. There really is a buzz and a confidence about Manchester United at the moment. As Mabbutt gets it back again to Walker. Really, you can't sniff at Tottenham's season so far. Certainly they lost at Swansea in the Rumbelows and against Hajduk Split, both in first legs in their cup competitions. But they've had 5 wins in 7 league games. And they're lying third in the table. Seven points behind Manchester United, but Spurs have got 2 games in hand. Offside against Lineker. Robson, McClare, Tuffer. Well, there's a bit of confidence from the 19-year-old from Reading, taking on Brian Robson on a one-on-one and got the better of him, even though it's finished up into touch with the throw for Manchester United. Dennis Irwin with it. Here's McClare. It's a long-range shot. In fact, it caught Robson, and Robson's gone down for a moment, but I think he's okay. Phelan. Stewart. Allen. Knocked wide for Lineker. Bergson's made a great break down the right-hand side, but more as a decoy, and Lineker plays it in for a quite simple catch for Schmeichel. After the cheeks from Gary Lineker. Exciting times for him, actually, for Gary Lineker, apart from all the goal scoring, due to become a father for the first time any day now. Michel, I gather, is in the ground today. Walker catching it. Here's Samways. Lineker. Samways. Stewart. 9 players back for Manchester United. Really getting people solidly back behind the ball when danger threatens. Which it does now, but no. Paul Allen's cross way behind the United goal. By Spurs. Phelan cuts it out. Robson knocks it on. Kanchelskis. Oh, he's gone round Sedgley. Now, what sort of cross? Well, he hit it against Sedgley. You feel there's danger every time this Russian winger gets into action. And you just, when as Giggs goes across to take the corner, when you look at those two and you think of the embarrassment of riches that Alex Ferguson's going to have when Lee Sharp is fit as well. Here's Giggs with the cross coming in, straight at Stewart. Oh, misunderstanding! Giggs, and tipped away by the keeper. Total misunderstanding there in the Spurs defence. 2 players leaving it for each other. It fell invitingly for Ryan Giggs. And the 17-year-old hitting it over the top. Both leaving it to the other. Thanks a lot, says Giggs. Left foot just tipped away, and tipped away very well by Walker. So Owen with a corner for Manchester United, already a goal up. Stewart getting it away. Robson tangling with Samways. Samways the guilty man, so the linesman said, but the referee gave it the other way, and suddenly Naeem's in the clear. Now can he finish it off? He's got Lineker. Save! Dury! 1-1. So United protesting to the referee, because my feeling was the linesman definitely gave it United's way. The referee overruled him, the free kick was taken quickly, and from that moment onwards, United were always in trouble. Naeem did a tremendous amount of work here, but of course once you get Lineker here, that's when the trouble really begins. Schmeichel got a hand to it, but in the end it was a formality for Dury. 1-1. Great credit for Naeem. United really caught on the wrong foot. They thought the free kick should have gone their way. Schmeichel just getting a touch there to Lineker's shot. Dury unstoppable there. Spurs 1, Manchester United 1, Dury 39 minutes. And only the third goal that United have conceded this season. Quite a good current quiz question actually. What have John Fashanu, Lee Chapman and Gordon Dury got in common? The only players to score against Manchester United this season so far. That's an offside against Kanchelskis. The referee played on quite rightly. Spurs in possession. So controversy really over both goals. Spurs feeling that Hughes was offside when he took the ball for his. United feeling that a free kick should have gone their way instead of Spurs' way. Well, it's certainly ripped this game wide open now. Naeem's ball didn't reach Lineker. Sedgley, up to Dury. Robson, McClare. Samways after him, it'll come for Robson. No, the whistle will stop it all. It'll be a free kick for Manchester United. A foul by Vinnie Samways. Kicking the ball away there, which isn't a sensible thing to do. He's already got a yellow card. United players still saying to the referee they felt that should have been a free kick going their way. When Spurs broke, Dury equalised. But that's history now. What United have got to do is look for a second goal, just as Spurs will be doing exactly the same. Owen with the shot. Scored once this season, Dennis Irwin, but was a million miles away from adding to it there. Ian Walker then with the goal kick for Tottenham. Not a very good one, but fortunately for Spurs, Sedgley was there. Mabbott gets it away, up to Dury. Hughes challenged by Mabbott. Spurs free kick. Last 2 minutes of the first half. Robson in first before Stewart. Leclerc. Samways. It's been a real searching test in that midfield area for Vinnie Samways this afternoon, faced by Brian Robson, who is looking at his most ferocious and most competitive. Giggs took that well. Will it come to Tuttle? It came off Tuttle and behind. Surely yes for the corner to Manchester United. It'll be taken again by Dennis Irwin. They're giving time for Gary Pallister to get forward and Steve Bruce. Pallister with the header. A missed kick there by essentially, I think, no, it was Bergson. But away come Tottenham with Paul Allen. Kanchelskis gets back. Phelan finds Irwin. Played on again for Giggs. Leclerc. Oh, there's space down this left-hand side. Irwin filling that space now for Manchester United. Good saving challenge that time from Steve Sedgley. Ball hitting the corner flag. I'm not sure whether it's a corner or a throw. It's a throw which Irwin will take. We're playing time added on at the end of the first half. Robson now to Irwin. United looking to finish with a flourish. Another throw. Irwin. Giggs. Now Ince. Deflected, flag up, offside, free kick. Breathtaking pace right through this first 45 minutes. That Allen's doing, but Ince held his ground well. Found Leclerc. Oh, Bruce lost it just for a moment. Schmeichel with a great kick out there. Kanchelskis chasing for it and gets it ahead of Sedgley. United throw. Robson with it. He's been everywhere. Phelan. Crossing again, a flag up again for an offside against Mark Hughes. Free kick to Tottenham Hotspur, right on the stroke of half-time. Played a minute of injury time. Kanchelskis, half-time whistle. Furious pace, red-blooded stuff from start to finish. Both goals tinged with controversy when Mark Hughes put United ahead after 21 minutes. Was there an element of offside? When Dury equalised for Tottenham after 39, should a free kick have gone Manchester United's way? But it all adds up to an excellent first half and a lot to look forward to in the second. Spurs 1, Manchester United 1.
So I just got back from vacation, 2 weeks at the Holsten Pils Brewery in Hamburg. Oh, what a flight back. I was on one of those planes that goes faster than the speed of sound. I asked for Holsten Pils. The stewardess never heard a thing. I had to get my friend to order for me. He had more luck. He's an anatomical linguist. He speaks body language. But you know how I enjoy traveling. Every time I cross a time zone, I hang around for an hour and try to catch myself around. So I just got back from vacation, 2 weeks at the Holsten Pils Brewery in Hamburg. Oh, what a flight back. I was on one of those planes that goes faster than the speed of sound. I asked for Holsten Pils. The stewardess never heard a thing. I had to get my friend to order for me. He had more luck. He's an anatomical linguist. He speaks body language. But you know how I enjoy traveling. Every time I cross a time zone, I hang around for an hour and try to catch myself arriving. One time I didn't turn up. Oh, I was worried sick. Still, as my linguist friend would say,
Sport gone crazy. Famous funnies from the likes of Gascoigne, Bruno, Gadding and Faldo in this special ITN compilation celebrating those moments when everything goes hilariously wrong.
Right from the kickoff, when you need express parcels delivery, there's only one team that's really on the ball, and that's TNT Express. We have the vehicles, the planes, the technology, and above all, the people to ensure that your important goods are delivered on time, every time. When it comes to perfect timing and safe handling, we're in a class of our own. And you don't just have to take our word for it, we are approved to British Standard 5750 and have just won our industry's top award for customer care. So for a top-class performance that benefits your business, get on the ball, pass your parcels to TNT Express and get the right result. Call free 0800 100.
yeah, and if it's true that the Earth is constantly rotating, the off license should be coming by any time now. The world's full of scientific theories, but I'm not sure about it all. I prefer to keep things simple. That's what I like about Holsten Pils. They brew it without using chemicals. And I say it's just as well. Science can be a dangerous thing, believe me, I know. Last week I disproved the theory of relativity. I haven't seen my family since.
You know, I used to think I had everything back in Texas. Money, power, monogram pajamas. Get away from me. Now I know what it is to have real control. Anytime, any place, 24 hours a day. If I want my room 18 degrees, I got 18 degrees. Not 17, not 19, 18. Now I got gas. British gas, central heating. Brennan. See the sensor? It tells this control center what the temperature is outside, which then automatically controls my boiler. And how's this for keeping me warm? Tall, slim, attractive. Have you ever seen a more beautiful radiator in your life? Best of all, the running costs are so low, it's cheaper to run than Brennan. See? He's gone home already. Don't you just love being in control?
Hughes drawing Walker out and flicking it with the outside of the boot. United a goal up.
Brentford 2, Bolton 0, Bury 1, Hartlepool 0, Exeter City 0, Reading 0, Leyton Orient 1, Huddersfield Town 0, Stoke City 2, Stockport County 0.
Side, but as Giggs releases it here, Hughes, you can see, is maybe as much as half a yard onside. Certainly from that angle it looked that way at any rate. And now from this moment on, Spurs in deep trouble. And just look at the coolness of Hughes. He flicks that with the outside of the boot, wide of Walker, and United are a goal up. All right, Jim Ramsey.
Just a reminder once again that the Spurs videos are currently on sale, include the Votes Victory video at £12.99, the tracking of the success of last year's FA Cup side, and also the today's match video will be on sale shortly after the final whistle from the ticket office, from the...
As much as half a yard. Is maybe as much as half a yard onside. Certainly from that angle it looked that way at any rate. And now from this moment on, Spurs in deep trouble. And just look at the coolness of Hughes. He flicks that with the outside of the boot, wide of Walker, and United are a goal up. Welcome back to White Hart Lane, where if anything it's raining even heavier now. We are poised for what should be a classic second half. Manchester United and Spurs level at 1-1. Manchester United now getting the second half underway. Certainly, if you believe championships are built on miserly defending, as Arsenal in a way I suppose proved last season, then Alex Ferguson's boys are really on the right track with only 3 goals now conceded this season. Take a lot of breaking down, getting men back so quickly behind the ball. And Spurs are really going to have their work cut out to add to their goal. But here's Bergson. Given away there by Bruce in the first place, back to Bergson, and Bruce then had to knock it behind with his head for the corner. It's with Allen. Jury's head up. Well, an inquest there between Bruce and Phelan as to how it was that both Dury and Stewart at the far post could get up above them. Real busy times and a telling time for Manchester United coming up. This game today, of course, against Spurs, who are third. They play Liverpool at Old Trafford next weekend, next Sunday, which is a live game on ITV. And then they have a match against Arsenal. It's going to tell them an awful lot about themselves over these 3 games. 1-1 here at the moment. Robson playing it in towards Kanchelskis. Hughes holding off Naeem. Robson getting it in. Robson getting it in again, trying to release Giggs. Go around Irwin with a bit of pace, does so, leaves Irwin on the ground, and he leaves Robson on the ground. Across there too high, Naeem turning it in, Schmeichel punching it away. Kanchelskis now with green pitch ahead of him, but then Samway's coming in. He lost his way for a moment there, did Andrei Kanchelskis. Bruce with the clearance. Phelan, Ince, McClare, that was played nicely into the path of McClare. Now Giggs, essentially lost contact there, straight to Walker. Good start to the second half this. Stewart now, to Samways. Dury. Stewart. Lineker's away on the right-hand side. A lovely ball by Stewart now for Gary Lineker. There's his cross coming in. It was Bruce who got there a fraction before his goalkeeper. Samways. Lineker. Bergson outside him. The ball played by Lineker for Gudni Bergson. Bruce again with a diving header to get it away. Only as far as Stewart. Good spell this for Tottenham, but now the whistle's gone. And Stewart kicked the ball towards the referee. Stewart will probably claim that he was kicking it so that the free kick could be taken, but Paul Stewart's name will go into the book. Yellow card for the Tottenham number 7. Irwin's header to Robson. Robson's neat little pass for McClare. Ince following it in. Robson trying to get Ince in there, but good judgment there by young Ian Walker. Sides, of course, involved in the European Cup Winners' Cup on Wednesday. Manchester United against Panathinaikos of Greece. 0-0 that one stands at Old Trafford. And Spurs here against Hajduk Split of Yugoslavia, needing to make up a goal deficit. That incidentally is a game you can see live on ITV. Spurs v Hajduk Split Wednesday evening. Samways. To Lineker. It's a good ball for Lineker. Stewart. Phelan's throw. Hughes. Phelan again. It's more for Mark Hughes. Turned Abbott beautifully there. Ball finds McClare. Irwin's gone on a break for him down the left-hand side. With Hughes again. Abbott's coming back for some more. No foul. Up to Lineker. Touch to Samways. Cut out by Phelan. And Abbott looked to be pulling Hughes back. Giggs couldn't get to the ball. Oh, what a good little break by Paul Allen again. Shown Owen a clean pair of heels there. Lineker, Robson after him. And it'll be a free kick to Tottenham. Robson and Lineker. Steve Bruce going back in there. Spurs free kick. Interesting position. Tuttle's come up from the back. Mabbott's now arriving from the back. Dury in there. Stewart. Lineker, of course. Heading towards Lineker, but Ince spotted that move very well indeed. Samways playing it wide for Allen. Ball fell loose just for a moment, and there were 3 United men pouncing on it. Spurs throw. Stewart. And again, flicked on, but McClellan will get to this one. Gets it up to Kanchelskis. Phelan. And for Giggs. Mabott holding him off. Giggs having a little snap at him. Naeem, toe poke there for Samways. Stewart, the last man here now. There, he nearly gave it away. It was a dangerous game just for a moment the Spurs were playing, and suddenly Stewart comes out of the ruck and finds Lineker, who's shoved in the back by Bruce. Having words with the referee. Absolutely no profit in that whatsoever. This can very quickly turn into referee wanting words with Ince. It's David Tuttle, the 19-year-old, making his first start of the season with the free kick for Tottenham just inside the Manchester United half. United starting today, remember, 4 points clear of the second place club, Leeds United. Spurs 7 points behind them, with 2 games in hand. Robson spreading it wide for Kanchelskis. Free kick. The foul was by Naeem. Three Tottenham players on yellow cards at the moment: Naeem, Stewart, and Samways. with the responsibility of this free kick. Calling Kanchelskis towards him. Giggs floating it in, Sedgley with a header away. Phelan lifting it in once more towards Robson. Tupper with him. Manchester United throw. 10 minutes of the second half gone. 1-1. Goal kick from Pallister's shot. There's header. Hughes. Robson. And they're playing it in again. Bruce. Robson. Tom Robson's pass falling straight to Samways. He and Naeem tried to make progress down that left-hand side. Stopped by Mike Phelan. Sedgley to Lincoln, watched by Bruce. Pallister away. There, no foul. Gets it back from Giggs. Plays it now for Kanchelskis, but even a man as fleet-footed as him won't get there before Walker. Naeem. Jury. Hughes. Ince. Again, Walker, excellent judgment, right to the edge of his box. Bergson. Stewart. Tupper. Hughes playing it in, and Nabbit again covering up well. Claiming he was held back by Pallister. A little dejected, saying his shirt was pulled. All safely with Peter Schmeichel. And now with Phelan. Bruce. It's a good ball for Ince. Tucked in by him now to Giggs. Leclerc to finish it off. But the whistle had gone. Foul on the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Going to look a little bit dicey. And the flag up for an offside, presumably against Ryan Giggs. Robson. Owen. Giggs has gone down the left. Found Hughes, found Ince. Finding Mark Hughes. Back for Paul Ince again. He's very active up front. Cut out there as they tried to find Kanchelskis. And an offside flag against the Russian flyer. David Tupple. Watching Mark Hughes there. So you can be sure the young Spurs defender will learn a lot in this 90 minutes, marking a man of Hughes' calibre. But he got in well there again. Kanchelskis. Stewart. Jury head down chasing this one. Bruce though looking to see where Schmeichel is, and Jury, well, I thought Jury had fallen to the ground there. The linesman clearly felt that there was some contact between the United defender and the Tottenham attacker, and in fact it is getting quite cut up down on this band down nearest this touchline. And one or two players have had difficulty keeping their feet. A free kick's given though. Floated deep and well caught by Schmeichel. Robson, and the opposing number 7, Paul Stewart. He's an ex-Manchester City player. You can be sure Paul is looking for a bit of profit out of the old neighbours and rivals, Manchester United today. Robson. And a good header too, because it releases Samways, who in turn releases Jury. Kanchelskis trying to get back and succeeds in doing so. Robson, great play by Robson. But back comes Naeem, and whether it's a throw or a free kick, referee having a quick word with Naeem. Naeem claiming that he got the ball, but the free kick has been given to United. It's Robson now. Hughes turning, stumbling. Stewart getting a half touch to it. Here's Irwin. McClare. $35,087 is the official attendance here. I'm told, in fact, the gates were closed at White Hart Lane at 2:10. Ince with a shot and a super save by Walker. Not a prolific goal scorer, Paul Ince, but he has got one already this season. And but for an excellent piece of goalkeeping by young Ian Walker, would have added to it. Robson, you'd have thought, might have had the shot. In the end, it came there for Ince, driven well. And a good save. Here's Kanchelskis. Jury. Well, it's a full house crowd, and they're getting full value here this afternoon as Stewart takes it up. Sedgley. Robson. Well, there have been many great Spurs Manchester United games in the past, and many of them, of course, renowned for their beautiful football. But I doubt that many have had more cut and thrust than this one. It's almost like a derby game. Samways. Oh, lovely little ball by Samways for Naeem. And again, Bruce there, the first man beyond that, or at least close to that near post, putting it behind for another Tottenham corner. And as in all great matches, both sides having little spells of superiority. Spurs early in the second half, and then United had a spell, and now it looks as though Spurs are coming back again. 1-1 still the score. Naeem And here's Sedgley. Now Schmeichel was out of his goal. He's getting back quickly. Stewart trying to get up there with a header. And Ince in the end getting it away. Up to Hughes. Hit long this time for Giggs, who's got Kanchelskis alongside him. Oh, he tried to flick that with a little bit of arrogance with the outside of the boots. Didn't quite come off. And Spurs can not only breathe again, but they can come again. Paul Allen, who's having a terrific game and giving Irwin all sorts of problems, but that time Irwin was equal to it, supported by Robson. A foul on Robson by Stewart and a free kick to Manchester United. And about 25 minutes left. Still 1-1. And both sets of fans now seeking to lift their teams to new heights. Sedgley. Stewart. Robson is in such form this afternoon, getting in there with that challenge. The ball coming now to Ryan Giggs. Mabbott doing a great job at the back himself for Tottenham. Allen. Lovely ball by Allen for Stewart. Lineker now taking it in his stride. Gets it wide here now for Naeem. Now can he take on Beelan? There's his shot. Just wide. Terrific stuff. Applause all around the ground for that move. Spurs sweeping from one end of the field to the other, and then Naeem, confronted by Mike Phelan, takes it inside, thinks about curling it, and look how close it was. Halfway through the second half. Lineker. Free kick given to Tottenham. An infringement there by Paul Ince, I think it must have been. Pulling him away from the referee. Now what will Spurs conjure up here? With the crowd really getting behind them now. 2, 4, 5 in the United wall. Joined by Giggs. Stewart in there also. Jury might be the one to have a real dig at this one. Gordon Jury's shot, just wide again. The wall had been well built. Just wide of the wall. Schmeichel was pretty confident that would also be wide of the post. Jervis. Samways. Needed a better ball than that for Jerry. Jerry challenged from behind unfairly by Bruce. Free kick to Tottenham. Sedgley's kick towards Stewart. Gary Pallister. Paul Ince. Bad ball by Ince. I'd say he didn't have time to measure a decent pass to Bruce, but it's given Spurs a little bit of the initiative here. Naeem over the ball by Naeem to Stewart. Cut out by Robson. And Chelkis. Spurs player down at the moment. Robson. And again it's Robson. I think it may be Naeem, is it? Looking around, I think it's Naeem.
Whilst there's a record playing, we have a message for Colin Pridden on the shelf. The brief picked his rough outside the stand after the game. Today's attendance at White Hart Lane.
Well, will Gary Lineker be the man to make the difference in the time that's left? Something like 17 minutes, 18 minutes. Robson and Ince having very earnest words in the midfield. And in fact, they're making a substitution, Manchester United. They're taking Kanchelkis off, the flying outside right, and bringing Clayton Blackmore on. Well, that will certainly bolster the midfield a little bit, and Spurs will have to be aware, which they of course would be, of his phenomenal work with free kicks. Naeem's okay again. And Clayton Blackmore takes exactly Kanchelkis' place. Naeem. Free kick to Tottenham. Giggs. But touch. Good work by Pallister. Until he's brought down by Stewart, being called. Now Stewart's already been booked. He's already got a yellow card. Now, will this be a red card now for Paul Stewart? It's a red card for Paul Stewart, sent off. For the challenge there on Gary Pallister. Well, if you look at that, he hardly touched Pallister. If he did, maybe we could in a moment get another look at that. But the referee considered that was his second bookable offence. Pallister went down the barest of touches. As the free kick's being taken, well, you might feel that that's a bit tough on Paul Stewart. Spurs down to 10 men then, as Paul Allen takes it up. Quarter of an hour left. And with Spurs down to 10 men, maybe this is the opportunity for Manchester United now to press home and make sure of another 3 points. Giggs being held up there by Bergson. Referee deciding that play should go on. In defence of the referee, I would think probably the challenge by Stewart on Gary Pallister probably looked a lot worse than it was, but certainly in slow motion it looks as though there was hardly any contact at all. In the meantime, McClare now. Finding Blackmore. Good stop by Walker. As Hughes closed in. Ince saying he wanted it lofted higher. Shreves in the centre of the picture there. Just wondering now whether his 10-man can hang on to a valuable point here, but here's McClare. Essentially giving it away. Threading it through for Lineker. Sedgley. Allen. Sideways. Allen. Sedgley. Roberts. Oh, Tuttle caught out. Giggs now. 1 against 1 and a chance for Manchester United. Well, Walker got a great touch on that one, but Giggs must wonder how it is. Well, they always look easier than they are, of course, but he must wonder how it is that he hasn't put them 2-1 up. A real classic one-on-one. Two young players, 117 here he is, and the goalkeeper 19 getting a wonderful touch to that one and putting it behind to the corner. Irwin with that corner. And the flag up for an infringement. And a free kick to Tottenham. Spurs fans sighing with relief and now applauding that excellent save by Ian Walker. Minutes left. Putting another one in. Well, somehow Ince didn't get a touch to it. Had he got that touch, then United would have been in front. A devastating ball played in there by Clayton Blackmore. And Ince hurled himself at it. Didn't get a contact. And Spurs breathe once again as it stays at 1-1. Inside the last 10 minutes. Giggs again, back for Mark Hughes. Ince has made a break through the middle. Robson, of course, is going to be in there somewhere, but he couldn't quite collect. He and Samways have had a great battle this afternoon, and Robson's been exceptional, but Samways has not been far behind him. Paul Allen also has had an excellent game in the midfield for Tottenham. Alistair up above Lineker. Robson. Alistair. Hughes. Robson again. In for Hughes. Deflected on it, deflected off Giggs. The feeling that United are turning the screw a little more tightly now. Robson trying to get Giggs away again. Walker right to the edge of his box. 6 minutes left. Alistair. Rather too long about that. Ince. It's Jury getting it a long way back. Time by Samways right in front of the referee, shoved Robson away, and I don't think really could complain greatly about that. And David Howe's now coming on as a substitute for Tottenham, and it's Naeem who's going off. Naeem's already been booked, I think. Yes, he has, and I suppose possibly they may feel he better not get into too much bother in these what are sure to be pretty tense last minutes here. Clayton Blackmore, cut on by Robson! Brian Robson heads in what could well be the winner, which caps A truly wonderful display by the Manchester United captain. His third of the season. Blackmore floating the free kick in beyond the despairing dive of Ian Walker. Now, will Spurs be able to respond with the 10 men? Spurs 1, Manchester United 2. Brian Robson, the second one for United with just 5 minutes left. Here's Ryan Giggs. Well, the United fans are chanting there's only one Brian Robson, and I don't think many would disagree with that. His tackling is ferocious, and he doesn't make many friends amongst the opposition or the opposition fans. But against that, for United at the moment, he's indispensable in that midfield. He's been an absolute inspiration for them from beginning to end today. Bergson's going off for Tottenham now, and young Scott Houghton, another 19-year-old, coming on. So another free kick for Manchester United, identical position from which Robson scored just a couple of minutes or so ago, and again taken by Clayton Blackmore. And he drives this one straight at keeper Walker. Irwin. Giggs. Robson. Irwin playing it in. Hughes wide for Clayton Blackmore. Again for Hughes. McClare trying to blast his way through it, and then Phelan also, but whacking it into the Spurs crowd, who are beginning to drift away now. With a little over a minute left, and Terry Venables, who's done so much to get Spurs back on an even keel off the field, I don't think even he's going to be able to do much about it in the last minute or so on the field. United fans whistling. Scott Houghton on the far side. Giggs was after him. Dury. Hits with a header. Finds McClare. Giggs has gone wide on the far side. Hughes has gone through the middle, but Sedgley closing in. whistle. United keep on that trail that they hope will lead to a championship at the end of this season. Their spirit and their confidence has shone out on this grey afternoon at Tottenham, led impeccably by Brian Robson. Some furious tackling by him in the midfield, but inspiration too, and of course that winning goal 5 minutes from the end with a header from Clayton Blackmore's free kick. Robson, in many ways, the difference between these two sides, but don't have any doubts about it also. Spurs will win many more than they lose in this coming season. A final score then here at White Hart Lane. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester United 2.